DoctorAche reviews The Vault. One sentence review. Pretty good acting and directing, but the supernatural stuff sucked. Short review is that it's much better. It was much better than anticipated. Better than the synopsis or trailer would lead you to believe. The acting was pretty good. The writing was pretty good. I put the movie on expecting to just kind of laugh at another bad horror movie premise, but this movie actually tried and it did better for it. Where it suffered was the execution of the haunting and ghost stuff, along with a few weird character decisions and lines of dialogue. But for the most part, it was better than it should have been, and it surprised me. Writing, yay or nay? Yay. The idea of a haunted bank is pretty stupid, I admit. But the way they wrote it, it made it not so silly. Props to the writer for selling this one. I mean, the scenes with the ghosts could have been better, but overall, most of the movie is handled very well. Good job subverting expectations, writers. The beginning, yay or nay? I'm going to say nay. The movie starts with James Franco making a phone call to the cops, telling them that the bank is being robbed. And the 911 operator just doesn't seem interested or competent, and it's just not handled well. James Franco gets cut off, presumably because he got caught making the phone call. And then an out-of-place song starts, and we get flashes of hostages and fire and other stuff to the song, and it just sets an odd tone. It just felt weird and out of place. Ending, yay or nay? Nay. It has its merits. I mean, for example, I like the twist with James Franco. It was pretty good. Also, the fact that the girls, when they're trying to start the car, on every single radio station is that song I was just talking about from the beginning. And I don't know, it seemed funny. It made me laugh. I don't know. But the ending, for the most part, really wasn't great. It ends with the sisters reuniting, and on the radio, while the one sister is driving to the rendezvous, it says that the cops, presumed all 5 of the robbers dead in the fire. It said, presumed dead in the fire. But they wouldn't make that presumption, and they wouldn't make it public if they didn't find 5 bodies, 3 men and 2 women. Like, did they find 2 female corpses in the basement? I don't know. And also, it says that they died in the fire, yet the fat guy got shot in the head with his own shotgun, and the dude who was, grinding into the actual vault had his thing screwed into his head. Like, he drilled into his own head. So, they didn't die in the fire. Why would they? It doesn't matter. It just doesn't make sense, and it was just a stupid thing for them to have said over the radio. Moving on. Characters. Yay or nay? I'm going to have to say yay. Many of the characters just felt like real people. A few in particular, especially did. Their dialogue usually fits, and they all have real character motivations. And there are a few weird lines and a couple bad characters. Usually just kind of the filler characters. But by and large, the characters pretty good. Performances, yay or nay? Yay. One of the best things in this movie is the performances. Example of a great performance is at the beginning. The blonde sister is yelling at the clerk at the bank, and yelling about her checks bouncing, and she goes on this rant about getting charged for everything, and she totally pulls off the junkie thing in the rant. It feels justified, and it sounds like something you would actually hear someone say. And it was pretty good acting. It was tremendous. Timing, yay or nay? Yay. I mean, no news is good news, I guess. I didn't feel like it was rushing or dragging, and the scenes flowed just fine. There are no huge payoffs. I mean, the twist was good, but a lot of the time you're sitting there questioning what happened to certain characters because, it just kind of cuts away from them and, you don't really know what happened. And I could see how some people might find it confusing or annoying, but personally I just chalked it up as being a choice by the movie to keep you guessing and maybe a poor way of trying to create suspense. Sound, yay or nay? Nay. During the ghost attacks and other paranormal stuff, there are odd sound choices and it didn't work for me. And the music, like I said before, just didn't fit. Score, yay or nay? Nay. The score was there, and it did its job, but it didn't do anything more than that. So I can't award points for that. It's not really memorable or anything like that. Visuals, yay or nay? Nay. The effects of the ghosts are horrible. The first scene we see the ghost in particular is just really bad. And whenever there were two attacks on the fat guy and the dude doing the vault, and both times, the lights keep flickering on and off, and the camera keeps getting all jonky, and it was annoying. It wasn't scary. It wasn't suspenseful. It was just annoying. And also, there's a scene where the one brother, the good guy, has a blowtorch and he's cutting through a sewer pipe, as an escape route, and the torch flame just looks fake. I don't get why it would look fake. The blood was good. There wasn't much of it in this movie, but the blood looked fine. The guns looked good, and they shot like real guns, or believable guns, I should say. And also the fire at the very end looks really bad. Believability, yay or nay? Yay. Now, when I say believability, I don't mean this could really happen. I mean, in the context of the story, does it push your suspension of disbelief too far? So, an example is in X-Men. There are mutants. So in the context of the story, in that context, it's believable that there would be a mutant school run by a bald telepath in a wheelchair. In this movie, the acting is what makes it believable, and the characters. The writing doesn't make the ghosts stupid or silly or over the top. I didn't roll my eyes, so that's a good thing. So believability is yay. Relatability, yay. A lot of people can relate to being distant or, having fallouts with your siblings, but being willing to do anything for them, such as robbing a bank. Editing, yay or nay? Nay. For the most part, this movie's editing isn't bad, but the scenes with the ghosts, especially the two I already mentioned, it just sucked. The camera keeps cutting and going to different angles, and the lighting and it's flickering and zooming and moving it. You couldn't follow what was going on, and it was irritating. Antagonist, yay or nay? Nay. If the robbers are the antagonists, then yay, but they seemed more like protagonists than anything. I think the ghosts were the antagonists in this movie, and they were not handled expertly. To be fair, the ghosts could have been much, much worse. It could have been, bad CGI and voiceovers and noise and grunts and whatever. But it was real people in costumes, with the bags over that and all that. And I appreciated that, But they just weren't scary or intimidating, and they weren't explored or used as much as they could have or should have been. Twist, yay or nay? Yay. I like the James Franco twist. It was done really well. It wasn't explicitly stated, or, it wasn't something that you could just be like, oh, well, but, once you know it, you can get behind it, and, it was pretty good. I liked it. I'm skipping crying because this movie wasn't supposed to make you cry. It's not a drama, so skipping that. Message, yay or nay? Yay. The message in a nutshell is to make amends with your loved ones and get a relationship back with them, and, something to that effect. And, this movie, it doesn't force the message on you, and, you know, it did like show don't tell. It did a good job with its message. I liked, you know, that part of it. Impact, yay or nay? I'm gonna have to say nay. You know, there's no real impact with me. The movie isn't worse for it. I don't think it was meant to provoke thought or anything like that. It was just a story with no greater purpose. You know, it had a family message, but it didn't preach. You know, so production value, yay or nay? Nay. The blood and guns, like I said, were fine, and they got good actors. You know, but just the paranormal stuff and the blowtorch and the fire and, you know, everything, it just felt, you know, it didn't feel, the movie as a whole didn't feel cheap, but production value, I give it an A. Overall enjoyment, yay. You know, like I keep saying, the paranormal and ghost stuff was, you know, not good. But the enjoyability comes from watching the performances and the interactions of the characters with each other. I didn't feel bored, and I liked watching the characters talk to each other and bicker and, you know, think and figure stuff out. You know, I like that. Rewatchability / recommendable. Nay? Yay or nay? Nay. You know, it's not a movie I plan on rewatching. But now that I've seen it, and I know it's much better than I ever would have anticipated, I do plan on telling my friends about it. You know, I'm not going to urge them to go see it or anything, but I will suggest that they at least give it a try. But I can't give it a point for that, because the sole reason I'd recommend it is because I expected it to be horrible, and it wasn't. It's not a good thing, not a good selling point. It's not a good thing if your selling point is that it's not as horrible as it looks. Pros and cons. Pros: acting, the twist, and the other stuff I've already said. Cons: the special effects, like I said, bad line deliveries, overall ending, and just a couple stupid decisions, you know, that along the way. Final thoughts. This isn't a good movie by any means. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. It's just better than I thought, and I'm really shocked, you know. There are some things I'd like to bring up in my final thoughts, so little nitpicks. For example, in the beginning, just as the robbers are obtaining the hostages, one of the hostages tries to make a run for it. And in the debacle, he gets shot in the knee by one of the guys. And then the robbers literally pull each other to the side right in front of the people. They're like, we said we weren't going to hurt anybody. No one's supposed to get hurt. And they're like, all right, we won't hurt anybody anymore. They're saying this right in front of the hostages. And on top of that, so the firefighter, the dude who's disguised as a firefighter who shot the dude in the knee, he walks over, takes his mask off in front of all the hostages so they all see his face, and then he puts a tourniquet on the dude's knee, where he was shot, on his knee. You're supposed to put a tourniquet above the wound so blood doesn't keep escaping, not on the wound. Okay. That's said and done. Another thing is that later on in the movie, like still in the beginning part, the blonde chick who was interviewing, the leader girl, I guess you could say, she takes off her wig right in front of James Franco, who is a hostage, and she shows that she's a redhead or brunette or whatever she was. Like, does she plan on getting away with this? Like, her cover is blown. He sees it. Like, she obviously doesn't plan on killing him. I don't know. And throughout the rest of the movie, the whole crew take off their disguises. Like, yeah, most of the hostages are, have bags over their head and they're sitting in the vault. But there's one chick in particular, the head teller, who literally, like, she goes to go to the bathroom and all this stuff, and she sees all of their faces. Okay, moving on. Another thing is that, somehow, like in the two scenes where the two guys get killed, the one fat guy and the one dude going into the vault, they get like surrounded by the ghosts and whatever, and then they start getting like attacked and forced to like kill each other. The dude with the shotgun, the dude with the drill. Somehow though, they just kind of teleport into like another room downstairs, and then they get killed. Like the dude in the vault, you could get over because okay, maybe they brought him over there and then they did. But the dude with the shotgun who's in the vault, or who's in the vault upstairs with the hostages, he gets surrounded by all these ghosts. You know, they put the shotgun to his mouth, and then, you know, the lights are flickering this whole time. And then, you know, the one sister chick goes running in to try to see what's going on because the vault's shut. And she opens the vault, and the fat guy's just not there. He's just gone. You know, all the hostages are still there, tied up and whatever, but how did he teleport downstairs? Like, later we see that he got his head blown off and he's in a downstairs room, but okay, that's just another stupid thing that bothered me. And another thing, the nice brother, the good guy, when he's downstairs, you know, he hears a voice and he starts looking around. He stumbles upon the one guy who's about to drill into his own head, killing him. And literally, the dude's sitting there, oh no, don't make me, no, And the good guy just watches. He had every opportunity. He had such a long time. He could have gone in, like pulled it out of his hand, pulled his arm from killing him. He could have stopped the guy from killing himself, but he literally just watches. And he doesn't even seem that upset about it. Like later, he tells the others in a passing way, "Oh yeah, he's dead." And then it's just okay. Another thing is at the very end, or not the very end, at the end when the cops are breaching because there's a fire. The leader chick, the brunette, is like leisurely trying to escape. Like she grabs the bag and she's just walking towards the door. Like she's not in a rush at all. No sense of urgency, and it's hysterical. One of the hostages, I think it might even been the security guard or something. He goes, "Don't go down there." But his delivery is so bad, it's laughable. And then, you know, no sense of urgency. She gets downstairs, and her brother, she finds her brother just, you know, setting fires. And she's like, all right, let's go. And then all of a sudden, they're just surrounded by all the ghosts. And they're like, oh, no. And the brother, like, runs in another direction. He's like going to the pipe. And she goes, I'm not leaving without you. And he goes, just go. And then she does. She just goes into the pipe. And then the brother, like, sets a fire to explosion. And she is, like, a foot into the pipe at this point. And it's a huge, huge opening. And the fire is just, there's a lot of it. There's no way she got far enough into that pipe to not get burned. She probably died realistically. Anyway. And I already talked about the ending and, you know, the stupidity with the radio station and all that, so I won't bring that up again. So those are my final thoughts. Score, 1 out of 10. Or score from 1 to 10. I give it a 5. 5 out of 10. Alright, thank you for watching. Feel free to share this video, and I hope to see you tune in to the next one. Bye!